I am using 3 free transfers in game week 28 and I'm still yet to take a hit all season. I know you've heard of Postman Pat, but have you heard of Patient Pat? Is your boy FPLbodders. Make sure you like and subscribe, and let's get right into the video. The top 10k shades have been stripped. I finally earned the right to wear them again, but they're taken off straight away because Verbruggen ended up being my highest scorer. My Chelsea players wanted to blank playing home to Burnley. It was just an amazing game week for me. Wirtz, a pretty good differential with a pretty good fixture, also turned out to injure himself in the warm-up. I mean, what is the guy doing? Now I've got to think about that for next game week, and I'll talk about it more in a bit. Right now, I'm just going to complain about the low returns. All my defenders, blank. All my midfielders, blank, including my differential captain. Then, in the front three, the guy who everyone else captained actually got a return, so this return from Haaland, it didn't even help my team, so it's no good. The team all around was awful, but I still believe in a lot of these guys long term. And you know what? I say everybody blanked, but Rice and Bowen both hit DEFCONs. Big 4-pointers. Vandenberg hit DEFCONs. Timber got an assist, you know. Well done, guys. That is what I needed. Thank you so much for those small returns. I've gone down about 4,000 places, just over 4,000 places, which doesn't seem awful, but when you're at this sort of rank, 4,000 places is a lot. My game week rank was awful, and I really want to earn them spaces back. Luckily, when you go quite differential like myself, you know, I'm not a sheep, I don't follow the crowd, I am the shepherd, you know, you have the opportunity to build those points back. I also still have the opportunity for another consecutive big red arrow, but I prefer to think of the glass half full. Into the team now, guys. Right, this is how the team looks with no transfers made. I am planning on using all 3 of my free transfers. I don't know much about Wirtz yet, I'll talk about him when I get to the midfield. Let's start with the defence. Verbruggen, my highest scorer last game week, he's earned a spot in my team, and there's no way I'm going to transfer him out. Not because I like him, not because I think he's good, but he's got an alright fixture, and goalkeeper transfers are a waste of time. In the defence, Arsenal haven't been amazing, but they're definitely not the worst players in my team. The Arsenal defensive numbers are still really good, so I back them to keep a clean sheet in the next few games they've got before they blank in game week 31, so I'm going to keep him here. Even though Timber seems to be a bit of a rotation risk now, to be honest, there's more players I want to get rid of, so Timber is staying here. Hopefully he keeps starting. Then in the back line, with bench Chalobah, because I'm not playing Chalobah away to Arsenal, I'm playing Vandenberg away to Burnley. The Brentford defence is alright, and Vandenberg, in my opinion, now has reliable minutes as a Brentford defender. If he doesn't, I may be in the mud, because that'll be another fire I need to put out, and I won't have the free transfers to deal with it. So hopefully, Vandenberg and Timber can just do me a solid and start their games. If they don't, then I may end up taking my first hit of the season, which is something I don't want to do, but I may have to do it. So that's the back 3. Right now it's fine. In theory, it should be okay, but it could be the reason I have another red arrow. In midfield, I'm making 1 transfer here. As you can see, Bruno Fernandes is currently my captain, and I plan on keeping it that way. Crystal Palace are on awful form right now. They played home to Burnley, then home to Wolves, and made Burnley and Wolves look like the best teams in the Premier League. A lot of their players have given up. They think they're way too good. Mateta openly is feeling that way. I feel like Munoz knows he's a bit too good for Crystal Palace and he doesn't care anymore. Glasner's leaving at the end of the season, he's already said that. So a lot of their team, a lot of their key players and manager just don't care anymore, and they're just not playing well. It's like their heart's not in it. And they are 18th for set piece goals conceded. I'll talk about the Bruno captaincy in more detail in a bit, but Bruno has a very, very good matchup against Crystal Palace. As for Wirtz, he's currently yellow flagged. I'm going to upload this video on Thursday. I feel like on Friday we're going to get more news from Ancelot in the press conference. He'll definitely get asked about it. I'm hoping he will give us some useful info. Even if he's confirmed to maybe just be on the bench, I'll still probably keep him because, like I said, I don't have the free transfers to get rid of him because that fixture run is so good. I don't mind him missing 1 game. Hopefully he does start though, because that home to West Ham fixture is really, really good. He would be my vice captain if I'm confident he's going to start. Declan Rice, you know, he's alright. He's not amazing, but he keeps getting a lot of DEFCONs and he does get the odd assist now and then. He's not a player I need to sell. He's not a fire I need to put out. But Cole Palmer, the fixtures that follow aren't any good. The worst fixture run in the league. So Palmer is going. Now, which big dog premium should I do with that 10 million? Well, I'm going to bring in Dango Ouattara. Yes, you heard that right. I know it sounds a bit silly, but Dango Ouattara has a good long-term fixture run. And I know there's a lot of debate around which cheap midfielder you should buy. You know, you've got Harry Wilson, Kevin Schade, Ryan, Adley. But Dango Ouattara is my favourite. I feel like he's going to get the best underlying data. He's fairly reliable for minutes. And I'm not using my wildcard in game week 32. I need a player with a good fixture on leading up until double game week 33, and Dango Uwatara has just that, so he is coming in my team. Then we look to the front three. Okay, I am making 2 transfers. As you can tell, I have a lot of money in the bank, and if you watched my last video, you can tell who I'm probably going to bring in. Haaland is staying here. He won't help my team though, because he's not my captain, and everyone's going to captain him. He will hurt my rank more than he helps it. We are selling Jared Bowen, who has been pretty good to me, to be fair, for Ekitike, entering this amazing Liverpool fixture on. I want to be a part of it, and just owning Verts isn't good enough. I wish I could have Van Dijk too, but I don't have the free transfers to deal with it, so I'm just going to have to settle for Ekitike and Verts, which is by no means bad. It's just, as an Ekitike owner in the past, you know, I had him as my captain home to Burnley. I'm sure many of you did too. We were let down because he can miss so many big chances if he's not having a good day. And recently, he's not been having many. 2 goals from his last 10 big chances is not good. But I believe in him. He's still getting the expected goals, and I believe he will convert them soon because good fixtures encourage good form. Then we are selling Krupi Jr. And I know it may seem like I can't afford this, but remember, I did just sell Cole Palmer, and Igor Thiago is coming into the team. 2 monstrous strikers with 2 monstrous fixture runs. Going without these guys is something I just simply couldn't do, so I've prioritized those 2 out of anyone else in this team. So that's how the current plans line up. I've not confirmed any of these transfers yet, but I probably will make them. It's just good to wait until the Friday press conferences so we can hear more news and get the full picture. I don't like going early, even though I've missed on about 0.3 or 0.4 mil, I've missed out on that. I'd much rather get the information because there's way too many times in the past of playing FPL where I've made early transfers and they've come back to bite me. So I'm just going to wait, hold my horses, then make the moves when I'm confident it is the right time. Let's take a look at the odds for game week 28. So looking at my defenders, I wasn't too confident with them, but like I said, it's not the fixture that worries me. 2 of my defenders sit first in the projected clean sheets with 36%, and my other defender sits 1% behind them in third on 35%. My goalkeeper's not too far behind either. He's on 30%. Now, these numbers aren't high, okay? 36% isn't sensational. There's some game weeks where there's a team, Arsenal, with around 50%. It's nowhere near that right now, but that's okay. They're topping the charts, so I'm doing the best I can. The issue isn't the fixture. The issue is actually having those players, Timber and Vandenberg, start their fixture. Please, I hope they do, or else I'm going to have a lot of fires to put out. Looking at the projected goals, seeing Liverpool at the top with 2 Liverpool attackers, hopefully, fills me with confidence. Hopefully, they can fulfill their destiny as the highest goal scorers this game week. Slightly behind them, Manchester United in second is beautiful because I have Bruno Fernandes as my captain. Then we look in third place. That's where it gets scary. Haaland is not my captain. I don't own Antoine Semenyo. I don't own Nico O'Reilly. This is scary hours. I do not want these Man City players to get any points. And it's not just Man City players. There are so many threats to my rank. It's a very scary game week. But like I said, I will never let effective ownership dictate my decisions. I've said it many times before. I like choosing what I think is best. Sometimes it works out great. I make really good differential plays. You know, more often than not, it also goes badly. I'd say it's 50-50 actually. I can make these differential plays that go amazing for me or awful for me, but that's just the fun of the game. And I know I'm giving it all this like I missed a differential. I have just bought in 3 fairly high-owned players, 3 players that have been heavily transferred in this game week, but just let me have this one, okay? I want to feel cool. Now, when I look at these, I normally like to pick out things I disagree with because normally I feel like these projected odds can sometimes forget a few factors that I can include because obviously I'm smarter. On a real though, I actually can't think of anything I strongly disagree with in these projected odds. I want you guys to let me know in the comments. If you see anything that catches your eye that you don't agree with, feel free to let me know because as of right now, I don't see anything too out of the ordinary. Anyway, that's my team for game week 28. Let's see how I'm planning for the future transfers and what my chips are going to look like. Now, the future for me is looking like roll, roll, and roll. Even though, as you can see here, my game week 29 team doesn't look sensational, I need to save my free transfers. Like, I would happily bring in Van Dijk, but I want to save my free transfers because my chip strategy is a little different. I'm not using my wildcard in game week 32 like most people. I'm going to use my free hit in game week 31, hence why I'm not selling my Arsenal plays. I can keep them because I don't need to worry about them blanking. But because I'm not using my wildcard in game week 32, I'm going to struggle to build a really strong double game week 33 like most other people would who are on wildcard 32. You see the dilemma? So the plan is to save all my free transfers until I know who's actually going to be blanking in game week 34, or at least until I have a much stronger idea of who is going to blank in game week 34, because then I'll be able to plan for a better double game week 33. And it's not like I'm just sitting through bad game weeks. As you can see, in game week 30, my team looks a lot stronger. In fact, I've got a fairly hard benching headache. I may have to bench a defender playing home to Wolves. So my team is definitely by no means bad. It's just got a fairly tough game week 29. Then if we look to game week 31, this is where the free hit will be deployed. Now I can definitely just make some transfers, sell my Arsenal players, field a full 11 that's not great, then use my wildcard in game week 32, but I don't want to. I just don't like that strategy because I feel like it sets you up for the last 4 game weeks of the season quite poorly. I would much rather use my wildcard in blank game week 34, where I can just see out the end of the season as best as I can. I'm not going to think too much about game week 32 onwards, like I said, because I want to think about blank game week 34 and double game week 33 once I know who's got to the FA Cup semi-finals, because that will tell us who is going to be blanking and who is going to have a double. Okay, Bruno captaincy time. There's not a lot of thought that needs to go into this. I think it's fairly obvious for me, even though there's many other good options that you could definitely go with. Ekatike, Thiago, Haaland. My pick is Bruno Fernandes. First off, for expected goals conceded, they're on the higher side of things. 6th for expected goals conceded across the entire season isn't bad. Even across the last 8 games, they're still mid-table, so their defence isn't awful. But you know, Bruno is pushing for the assist record, and he gets a lot of his assists, more than half of his assists this season, from set pieces. That's free kicks and corners, excluding penalties, obviously, because you don't get assists from penalties. And that's useful info because, as you can see here, Crystal Palace, they sit 18th for set pieces conceded. And that's not set pieces conceded as in they've conceded a corner or they've conceded a free kick. It's set pieces conceded as in they've conceded a goal from a corner or conceded a goal from a free kick. And that also excludes penalties. Crystal Palace, like I said earlier, they're on awful form. They're not playing well. A lot of their key players have given up, like I said. So Bruno, for me, is the best option without a doubt. I'm no analytical expert, right? But Crystal Palace invite teams onto them. That's what they do, then they counter-attack. With their current structure, no Mark Gahey and all their key players not playing too well like they normally do, they're going to fall apart. It makes them a great team to target. I want to know down in the comments who you guys are captaining and why you're captaining them. Please let me know. Maybe you're going with Bruno as well. If you are, I am sure we will win points together. This is a big captaincy swing because I know that Bruno is going to be a fairly differential captain. Don't get me wrong, he's not a differential player. A lot of people own him, but I don't think a lot of people will go there with captaincy. So when Haaland plays, I will be hiding behind the sofa. Anyway guys, that is it from me. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one.